Let's bring in Mr. Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute of Financial Studies at the Renmin University of China. Hello, Mr. Liu. Welcome to our show. Now, China has been able to develop its rural areas with infrastructure construction, connecting it to other cities, other parts of the country. But what other measures need to go with that?
As we know that one of the most important experiences that for China for the development in the past 40 years is to have modernized our agriculture and the rural areas. China has two wings to develop its economy in the past years. One is the urbanization, and the second is the ruralization. We call the ruralization include the modernization of the infrastructure. At the first step, China has adopted a very positive policy that to build up a road around the whole country, especially in the countryside. As we know, in the remote areas in Tibet and Xinjiang, in the middle area of the Chinese mountain areas, they build up the roads and make the people and the products exchanges with outside of the province and the areas. So make the local circulation is quite active to make the people more prosperous. This is one of the important measures and experience that China has adopted in the past years. Nowadays, I think more measures should be taken into consideration. I summarized in 3 E's. One is the electricity, and the second, education, and the third is the e-commerce. All these 3 E's measures should be taken in enforcement in order to promote and stimulate the further growth of the modernization of China's rural areas. Because only by doing so, when the China's rural areas modernized, the whole country will be further developed to modernization. This is the next step, next target for our next 100 years of the party and of the nation.
So if you want to grow local economies, it's critical that you lure talents back to these rural areas. So what kind of policies do you think need to be in place to do this?
As we know that talent is a major power to develop the economy, especially for those talented people in charge of the smart technology and the AI technology, and also the latest technologies. So talented people are very important labor force, and also we call it this is a driving force in the modernization. So local government and the people should establish a good system, a perfect system to attract the more talented. I have to say that the two resources must be taken into account. One is the natural resources, whether the local government, the local conditions could be provide enough and better natural resources to cater the needs of the talented people. And the second is the policy resources, because from policy side, it can provide more favorable policies to attract the more talented people. For instance, the living standard, also the healthcare, education, and especially with the security, and also how to protect the benefit of the talented people to develop their own technology and economy in local areas. So in this way, we can also to attract the more local people to stay at home, and also we can attract the more overseas people and the talented people to have more investors, the more enterprises to be built up in the area. So in this way, that we can different ways that to have more opportunities to develop the local economies. That's why we have natural resources, and then we have policy resources, and then we have talented resources together.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Liu. Really appreciate it. That's Liu Zhiqin with the Chongyang Institute of Financial Studies.